Hi there, today we are going to be creating this gorgeous slider section in React. You can add this section to your own website and you can take your website to the next level. In this slider, you can watch the images slide automatically, or you can grab and slide them yourself. The active card displays content while the inactive card does not. We have included two background images and additional content to make the slider more visual appealing. So let's get started. Alright, I will be using VS Code. You can use whatever you prefer. Let's have a new folder on our desktop. I am going to call it React Slider. I am going to drag and drop my folder I just created. Here I will install my React application and we will be using Vite instead of create React app. The main reason is it's faster than create React app. When you make any changes in your application in development mode, it's reflected in the browser faster, and same goes for the build time. You can build your applications much faster. So let's create our application. First, open up the terminal. You can press Ctrl backtick, then type npm create vite latest. Okay, let's go ahead and install that in the current directory. I am going to install in this directory. So you can just type dot, select React and then JavaScript. Now our React application is ready. They suggest me to run npm install. So type npm install. Again npm run dev. Our local server is ready. Okay, everything is working fine. Back to our code. I want to go into app.jsx and this is the root app component. Everything you can see here is coming from this component. Now I am going to delete everything that's inside of this div. Also, we don't need this class name. We don't need this use state. Also, we don't need these lines. Here we can say React. In here, let's say lightcode. Now save it. Also, we don't need this app.css file. So I am going to delete this file. Let's go into our index.css file. I am going to remove everything. Now save it. Back in the browser. Now you can see our lightcode text. I am going to create a carousel folder inside our source folder. So let's say carousel. I will add a file called carousel.jsx. Also I will add a CSS file called carousel.css. Make sure you install ES7 extension. I already installed it. Now inside our carousel.jsx file, you can type RAFCE, hit enter. It will automatically generate a functional component with the name of the file carousel. This is amazing because it reduces your development time and it just makes everything goes a lot faster. Now save it. Now I want to import carousel component inside our app.jsx file. So at the top, let's import carousel from /carousel/carousel. Let's get rid this text and in here let's say carousel self-closing tag. Now save it. You can see carousel text which is coming from here. Now I want to place some images inside our carousel folder. So in here let's say image. I place two background images. Also I am going to add some dummy data which we will be using. You can use your own data. Here is our final design. You can see there are two background images, some content on the left side and a beautiful carousel on the right side. First, let's focus on the left side. Back to our code. we don't need this text. Give it a class name equal to carousel. Now we want to create two divs. This one is for the content on the left side and other is for the carousel on the right side. Now inside this div, let's have a new div. That div is going to have a class name equal to carousel-content. Inside it, let's have a span tag. In here, let's say discover. Below that, let's have an h1 tag. In here, let's say sweet donut heaven. Below that, I want to add a horizontal line, and below that I want to add a paragraph tag. Let's copy this paragraph and paste it right here. Below that paragraph tag, let's have an anchor tag. Give it a class name equal to slider-btn. In here, let's say download app. Now save the changes. Back in the browser. Now you can see our raw content. Let's add some CSS. I will scroll up. First I am going to import CSS file. So in here, let's say import ./carousel.css. Now save it. Let's go into our carousel.css file. First I want to add some basic CSS. Margin will be 0. Padding will be 0. Box sizing will be border box. Font family will be open sans serif. Below that I want to target carousel class. So let's say dot carousel curly brackets. Position will be relative. Width will be cal min 90 rem, 90%. Margin will be 0 auto. Minimum height will be 100 VH. Column gap will be 3 rem. Below that, padding block will be min 20 VH, 3 rem. Below that, I want to add media query. So let's say media screen and min width will be 48 rem, curly brackets, carousel curly brackets, display will be flex, align items will be center. Now save the changes. Back in the browser. Now you can see our content and carousel are side by side. Let's add more CSS for the content. Below this media query, I want to target span tag. So in here, let's say carousel-content span tag, curly brackets. Text transform will be uppercase. Letter spacing will be 1.5 pixel. Below that, font size will be on rem. Color will be hashtag 717171. Below that, I want to target h1 tag. So let's copy this class and paste it here, and then space h1 curly brackets. Text transform capitalize. Letter spacing 0.8 pixel. Font size will be 4 rem. Line height will be 1.1. Background color will be hashtag 00A4AA. Below that, background image will be linear gradient 45 degree, hashtag 00A4AA, black. Below that, give it a background size 100%. I want to add WebKit background clip, and that will be text. Below that, I want to add WebKit text fill color, and that would be transparent. Now I want to target horizontal line. So let's say carousel content space HR curly brackets. Display will be block. Background will be hashtag 00A4AA. Height will be 0.25 rem. Width will be 6.25 rem. Border none. Margin 1.125 rem on top, 0 on right, 1.875 RAM on bottom and 0 on left. Now I want to target p tag. So let's say carousel content space p curly brackets. Line height will be 1.6. Below that I want to target button. So let's say dot slider dash btn curly brackets. Display will be inline block. Color will be hashtag 7on7on7on. Background white. Padding will be 0.625 RAM on top and bottom, 1.875 RAM on left and right. Margin top will be 2.125 RAM. Text decoration none. Text transform uppercase. Border will be 2 pixel solid hashtag C2C2C2. Border radius will be 3.125 RAM. Transition will be 0.3 second is in out. Below that I want to add some hover effect. So let's say dot slider btn colon hover curly brackets. Border will be 0.125 RAM solid hashtag 00A4AA. Below that I want to add color and that will be hashtag 00A4AA. Now save the changes. Back in the browser. For now it's looking nice. Let me look at the reference design. You can see there are two background images. So let's focus on that. I want to go into carousel.jsx. First I want to import our images. So at the top in here let's import bg-donut1 from ./image/bg-donut-1.png. I'm going to duplicate this line. In here let's say 2 and also in here let's say 2. I will scroll down. Below this div I'm going to add those images. Let's have an image tag and source will be bg-donut1. Give it a class name equal to bg-donut1. I am going to duplicate this line. In here let's say bg-donut2. Here also let's say bg-donut2 and the world will be bg-image. Now save the changes. Back in the browser. Now you can see our images. Now let's fix their position. Back to our code. Let's go into our carousel.css. Now below this hover effect I want to target bg-donut1 class name. So let's say dot bg-donut1 curly brackets. Position will be fixed. Below that top will be 0. Left will be -8 RAM. Z index will be -1. Opacity will be 0.2. Below that I want to target bg-donut2 class name. So let's say dot bg-donut2 curly brackets. Position will be fixed. Below that bottom will be -2 RAM. Below that right will be -3 RAM. Z index will be -1. Width will be 9.375 RAM. Opacity will be 0.2. Now save the changes. Now our background images are looking great. Let me look at the reference design. Now we can focus on our carousel part. To achieve our carousel effect, we will be using sweeper library. You can see this is very popular library. First we want to install it. Back to our code. Open up a new terminal by clicking this plus icon and type npm I sweeper. Hit enter. Close it up. Once you have installed sweeper, you will have access to do a lot of cool things with its option. So what we are going to do is we are going to start importing the sweeper stuff. First I want to import sweeper and sweeper slider from sweeper react. Okay, let me show you what I mean. In here let's say import curly brackets sweeper comma sweeper slide from sweeper/react. Below that I want to import some modules. So let's say import curly brackets pagination, comma, effect cover flow, comma, autoplay from sweeper. Then we want to go ahead and import sweeper CSS file. So in here let's say import sweeper slash sweeper dash bundle dot mean dot css. Below that let's say import sweeper slash sweeper dot mean dot css. Now we have the basic stuff of sweeper. I will scroll down. We don't need this div anymore, so I'm going to delete this div. In here let's say sweeper opening and closing tag. Now I want to map our slider data, so let's say curly brackets slider dot map data arrow function. In here let's say sweeper slide, give it a inline style. I want to add background image, so let's say background image backtick URL parenthesis then $, curly brackets, and in here let's say data.url, and this URL is coming from here. Again I want to add a class name in here, so let's say class name equal to my sweeper dash slider. Inside it let's have a new div, and inside it let's have an h2 tag. In here let's say data.title. Below that let's have a paragraph tag. In here let's say data.description, and finally below that let's have an anchor tag. Ref will be backtick $, curly brackets data.url. Target will be blank, give it a class name equal to slider-btn. In here let's say explore. In here give it a class name equal to my sweeper. Now save the changes. Back in the browser. Now you can see our carousel. Let's add some CSS. Back to our code. Let's go into our carousel.css file, and below that I want to target my sweeper class, so let's say my sweeper curly brackets, width will be 100%. Below that padding top will be 3.125 RAM. Below that I want to target my sweeper slider, so let's say dot my sweeper dash slider curly brackets, width will be 18.75 RAM. Below that height will be 28.125 RAM. Below that background size will be cover. Below that background position will be center. Now save it. Back in the browser. I think it's not looking good. There is some issue, so let's check this out. Back to our code. Let's go into our carousel.jsx file. I will scroll up. We have to move our custom CSS, so I'm going to cut this one, and below this sweeper mean CSS I'm going to paste our custom CSS. Now save the changes. Back in the browser, reload it. For now it's looking nice. Now I want to add some sweeper attribute. Back to our code, I will scroll down, and in here below this class name, first I want to add modules square bracket. The first one will be pagination, second one will be effect cover flow, and third one will be autoplay. Below that I want to add effect, and that will be cover flow. Below that I want to add grab cursor equal to true. Centered slides will be true. Now I want to add cover flow effect. Rotate will be 0. Stretch will be 0. Below that depth will be 100. Modifier will be 3. Slideshow true. Below that cover flow effect I want to add loop, and that will be true. Pagination will be clickable, and finally slides per view will be 2. Now save the changes. Back in the browser. Now you can see our attributes are working. Let me look at the reference design. Now we can style our cart content and pagination. Also, you can see that the content vanishes from the inactive card and appears on the active card. So let's focus on those issues. Back to our code, let's go into our carousel.css file, and below this class, let's say my sweeper dash slider space div curly brackets, display will be none, opacity will be 0, padding bottom will be 0.625 rem. Below that I want to target sweeper slide active, so let's say dot sweeper dash slide dash active. Now the question is, where did I get this class name? Back in the browser, go to inspect tool. You can see sweeper components provides us some classes such as sweeper slide visible, sweeper slide active, and sweeper slide active, that means the active card. Back to our code. Now type space div curly brackets, display will be flex direction will be column, justify content will be flex int, opacity will be 1, background color RGBA 0, 0, 0, 0.5 opacity, and finally height will be 100%. Below that I want to target a tag, so let's copy this class, paste it here, space a curly brackets, align self will be flex start. Now I want to target h2 tag, so in here let's say dot my sweeper dash slider h2 curly brackets, color will be white, font weight will be 400, font size will be 1.4 rem, line height will be 1.4, margin bottom will be 0.625 rem, padding will be 1.563 rem, text transform uppercase. Below that I want to target p tag, so let's say my sweeper slider space p curly brackets, color will be hashtag DADADA, padding 0 on top and bottom, 1.563 rem on left and right, line height will be 1.6, font size will be 0.75 rem. Below that I want to target a tag, so let's say my sweeper slider space a curly brackets, margin will be 1.25 rem on top, 1.5 rem on left and right, and 3.5 rem on bottom. Below that I want to add some hover effect, so let's copy this one and paste it here, and then colon hover curly brackets, color will be hashtag 00A4AA. Below that I want to target pagination bullet, so let's say sweeper dash pagination dash bullet, comma, I'm going to duplicate this line, and in here let's say active curly brackets, background will be white. Now save the changes. Back in the browser, now it's looking very nice. Now we can add autoplay attribute and breakpoints to responsive our design. Back to our code, let's go into our carousel.jsx file. Below that slides per view, I want to add autoplay equal to delay will be 5000, that means 5 seconds. Disable on interaction will be false. Now I want to add breakpoint. In here let's say breakpoints equal to, at the width 640 pixel, we want slides per view will be 2. We can delete this one, we don't need this anymore. At the 768 pixel, I want slides per view 1. At the 1024 pixel, I want slides per view 2. And finally, at the 1560 pixel, I want slides per view 3. Now save the changes. Back in the browser, now it's looking very nice on our desktop device. Also, we can check on our smaller device. On our smaller device, it's also looking great. And that's all for now. Hope you liked this video. If you enjoyed it, please hit the thumbs up button to like this video and subscribe my channel.